This week, the Nerdland crew debated for hours whether or not to show this next piece of video. We never came to a consensus. Now, the video we are about to play may disturb some of you, but I decided to show it because I think it's the most effective way to have an important conversation. A teachable moment, if you will. The video comes from this week's 75th anniversary celebration of the Swedish Arts Federation at the Museum of Modern Art in Stockholm. On display is one of the many cakes artists were invited to make for the event, and this one is from Afro-Swedish performance artist Mikudo Lind. Mikudo himself is there in the cake. He's in blackface as the head on a caricature of an African woman's body. And this is where it's hard to watch. Mikudo invited guests at the museum to slice into the woman's body as represented in cake form and to allow her innards to spill onto their plates. And as they cut, Mikudo screams in apparent agony. And the screams are met with smiles, laughs, photos, and more people taking pieces of the cake woman. Now, their representational violence, utter indifference, and stunning lack of empathy for the suffering cake became critical parts of the performance. Now, the artist says his intent is to highlight and to oppose the practice of female genital mutilation. Art, at its best, provokes both feeling and thought, and controversial art is a valuable tool in a democracy. And Mikudo's motive was not to create racial indifference, but to highlight its existence. Still, I haven't been able to shake the sadness and the anger that I have felt since seeing this video. Provocative art still must be accountable to the violence it can do to the viewers. Now, I'll never forget attending the Without Sanctuary exhibit. It's a visual I'm not going to share with you here, but Without Sanctuary displays images of lynching victims, images of charred and broken hanging bodies that were turned into postcards and mailed around our country. It's grotesque historical art. But everyone in the exhibit was silent as we passed through, literally rendered mute by the horror we were seeing. The boisterous Swedish cake performance felt more like the carnival displays of African women's bodies throughout Europe and America that were popular in the 19th and 20th century. The glee and spectacle recall the laughing crowds at minstrel shows who applauded as gators consumed black babies, or the gawking wonder of the Englishmen who came to see the so-called Hottentot Venus naked in her cage at the Piccadilly. Yes, the cake is art, but understanding it as art does not remove our rights as observers and consumers to mark the human violation that the art encompasses. It does not take away our right to react with disgust and agony.